So this morning when I interviewed Glenn Fogel, I talked about market cap. Who remembers what's market cap? The value of a company. We have another one of those significant players joining us on stage now, Expedia Inc. Market cap around $18 billion US. And I'm very pleased to welcome the Senior Director for Southern Europe. Please welcome Mr. Walter Lafaro. Thank you.
Good morning, afternoon, I would say by now. So the theme, I cannot see there we go. So the theme of BTO this year was why. So I was talking to Giancarlo and we were talking about the fact that it's our 20th anniversary. So 20 years ago, Expedia for the first time allowed people to book directly online, book hotels and book holidays. So it created this connection between technology and travel. An incredible connection has been growing a lot in the past 20 years, and also allowing hotels partners, airlines, and service providers to access this public globally. And in the past 20 years, things have changed dramatically. The evolution of online booking is massive, mobile, you name all those things, the social sharing, the immediacy of information that we need to get today. But in order to start this, I thought I couldn't have a better way than having the founders of most of our brands talking about these 20 years at Expedia.
As the internet began to change people's lives, one of the first obvious places it could do so was in travel.
Our ambition right from the start was to become a giant, important company that changed the industry, that empowered hundreds of millions of people around the world. That is what we set out to build.
Just a firm belief that what you are doing is the right thing for consumers, and in the long run, that's going to win.
We put a stake in the ground. We're going to be the best technology company in travel. We're a growth company. We're going to invest aggressively.
It was really my first job coming out of college. 20 years goes by and you almost have to pinch yourself to remember some of those early days.
Oh boy, 20 years. What has changed about Expedia? What has not changed about Expedia?
Certainly the company has grown quite a bit.
We're bigger and we're taken seriously.
The things that haven't changed are the culture. The people, they're still as interested in solving the problems of travel and enjoying travel themselves.
Bill Gates came down and he proposed the idea that Microsoft and American Airlines come together and be the ones to power the new internet-based travel company.
It was a very scrappy, frenetic revolution of sorts with travel, and it's just been stratospheric since then.
We're experts in building technology for travel specifically and becoming that domain expert and figuring out really how to think about the customer and what they need for travel.
You get people that are passionate about travel and excited about technology, put those two together, that's pretty powerful.
I certainly never imagined that we'd be sitting here in 2016 and the brand would be as big as it is today.
Expedia started obviously as an idea. Travel was something that you had to do offline.
Oh wow, travel today versus 1996, radically different.
Can you imagine calling on a telephone and having to check rates at 10 different places? Well, that was the way it was done.
People planned their trips. They had very little information about the destinations, about the options, about their possibilities.
We gave consumers the ability to shop, and we empowered them to be able to book reservations on their own, to do their research, and to make their own decisions.
I think we have the combination of tech, travel, and hospitality, which is the best of three combinations.
It's this great mix of sort of the hospitality side of the travel industry and this determination in technology that there is a smarter answer to a problem and that we can build it and really have a huge scalable impact across the world.
What I think makes the company special is that we really think opportunity all the time. We don't take no for an answer.
Enabling people to dream at home about their ultimate vacation, and then with the touch of a button, book it. Really, Expedia Inc. is a collection of the world's leading travel brands.
We've been able to expand our companies, our brands across the world.
These are big brands that are important to lots and lots of people. They're leadership brands.
Together, we are just so much stronger than any of us would be alone.
Because being one team is all about all of us celebrating when some of us or one of us has a reason to celebrate. The next 20 years should be the most fascinating in travel.
Boy, what does the future of travel hold? Supersonic airplanes and jetpacks.
Well, we're going to go to space, right?
There will for sure be change, dynamics, disruption, and the cool thing is that Expedia is sort of smack in the middle of this.
Technology is making it so much easier to not only get where you want to go, but to immerse yourself once you get there.
Travel is becoming easier. People are actually traveling more. They're getting to know the world, and I think that makes the world a much better place.
I'm glad about all the experiences we've had, good and bad, because you learn lessons from things that go wrong.
When you are in such a fast-moving stream as this industry has been, hiring brilliant people and putting them in good positions, I think, has been critical to our success.
We're innovative, we listen, we're flexible, and we're up for the challenge.
I think as fast as this company evolves, the sky's the limit.
I think we are about to build a company that is going to become one of the big, great companies of the world.
Travel changes people's perspective. It just creates more of a worldview that the world is bigger than your set of experiences.
Each experience I do with travel opens my eyes to something else.
Travel is a component of life.
It opens your mind to things and it opens your heart to things. I think it just makes us better people.
Travel, technology, Expedia is a magical place to put these two things together, really to fulfill dreams.
That combination of technology and travel together is special. This place is about changing the world.
Okay, so that was essentially what our founders and what the people that lead the company today, their viewpoints on the past, let's say, and the future. But what happened, 1996, different type of size. What has happened in the meantime, and especially where are we today? What are we focusing on in 2016, 20 years down the line? Well, I think one of the things that is important to mention, and I think everyone has mentioned here, is about technology. Technology evolution continues, hasn't stopped, so we're going to keep on catch up with it. So travel industry keeps on catching up with technology. Technology is the key for the future because people interact more, interact a lot. We were born as a company that's essentially distribution, and that's what we're known for. We built a company based on distribution. But in the future, what we're trying to do also is to try and become a little bit more relevant and trying to become a little bit more of an agent, of an enabler for our partners to better work with us, to get incremental business all the time, so that we can still provide something that is not necessarily there in the market, something that is additional to what our partners see today. Essentially, there are three areas we look at when we think about it. One is technology, and in technology we spend a lot of money and we like to be on the edge of technology all the time. Another one is data. By definition, our 200 sites worldwide provide a lot of data to us, and the other one is marketing. And I'm going to give you a few examples on how we believe we're going to move slowly also in an environment of enablers rather than just distribution channels. This is one of them. This is Vacation by Marriott. So the way our structure, our technology is designed is essentially built to serve multi-brand. Our company is a multi-brand company. We got platform and technology that serve a lot of brands within the organization. That gives us the flexibility as well to get other brands linked to the same technology. And that's exactly what is happening today with Marriott. Within the Marriott.com site, you get a Vacation by Marriott. Vacation by Marriott gives the opportunity to the customer to book a hotel and to add a flight and create a package. Well, the whole package or dynamic packaging technology is provided by Expedia. So that's a type of partnership that is like a 2.0 partnership we are creating with our partner, with hotel partners. You can see some quotes from Arne Sorensen, the CEO of Marriott. So why is Marriott interested in that? Because we know we've been selling dynamic packaging for quite a long time, since 2002, 2003, and we know that the package customer is super important. The customer that stays longer, twice as longer as a hotel-only customer, he books twice much longer in advance, he cancels half of the time than a normal hotel customer on a standalone basis. So therefore, it's a very attractive customer. It is to us, and obviously, it is to Marriott. Other example, that's about loyalty membership. All the hotel chain, small size, mid-size, big size, they have their own loyalty membership. We have created technology by which we enable the hotels, the hotel chain, to capture membership on our site. So the customer can come on our site and can enroll in the membership program of the hotel chain. And the first that we signed is with Red Lion Hotels. Red Lion is a mid-size hotel chain in America, so it's about 100 hotels, more or less. And they are pioneering this function, and their feedback is exceptional. So what they say is, since we allow our customer to get into their membership program, their loyalty program on our site, they have quadruplicated the number of members. And also they mentioned that 75% of people that get into our site and they get a membership on our site, they are likely to book in their own site afterwards. So it's a billboard effect 2.0 in a way. That's another example. You probably heard about travel ads before, some of you have. It is our media solution area, which is like our e-commerce marketing area of Expedia. It provides the ability to get some prime position on prime advertising on our sites. It's been ongoing for some time. It's extremely popular for the mere fact that you got an ROI, return of investment, of about 11 to 1, so $1 spent, 11 back. That's a real average. So people use it a lot. But now we've gone to the next level. So the next level is that you can find the hotel, but there is a link that opens a window with the hotel website. So from our site, you get into the hotel website, so the customer can choose whatever they want to book. They have everything in front of them. And that is pure marketing and pure e-commerce marketing. Something we're going to be launching extremely soon in Europe is Rev Plus. Feedback we got given from the hotel. You got lots of data, right? But we don't know how to use it. We don't have total access to this data. Can we get this intelligence to better price, to better do a bit of revenue management 2.0? Well done. We got lots of data. It's true. We got lots of data points. So we have developed this tool called Rev Plus. It's a tool that is included in Expedia Partner Central. It's the hotel portal. Has no additional cost. You just need to be in the Expedia Partner Central, and essentially gives you the view of future booking. You can set up to 20 competitors in your screen and understand where you stand, and so you can do a little bit more pricing adjustment when required. Something else, another feedback that many hotels have given us. We want to be prominent in your site, but we don't want to lower the rates. We don't want to give you a promotion by which we have to lower the rate. So we have created now value add promotion. Value add is essentially an environment where you can give away a free breakfast or the spa voucher. So anything which is not necessarily something related to the price. You can keep the price as it is, get the visibility because you get a label there, and getting more visibility and selling and cross-selling more product within the hotel. That's something we got very proud about, is real-time feedback. Real-time feedback is a fantastic tool to do reputation management. Essentially, when the customer checks in, they receive an email from Expedia asking them there and then what they think about the hotel. So the customer gives a smiley face or maybe not that happy face and put some comments in there. These comments reach straight away the hotel. So the hotel can see them there and then, and they can act upon it. They can go to the customer and say, what's wrong? What happens there? You know that all the reviews are typically done on return when you go back from holidays. So you avoid that people put bad reviews if you're able to fix a problem beforehand. And whoever's been using this tool, I said that at least they've been able to increase their positive review by 10% just by using it. Again, it's a free tool. It's on Expedia Partner Central, very easy to use and very easy to interact with the customer immediately. And there is a second level to this, By the way, it's mentioned there, 8.3 million reviews to date. These reviews don't end up anywhere. They're not shown to anyone. It's just a feedback between the hotel and the customer and remains there. It doesn't go out. Nobody sees them. The next level is the EPC conversation. That's even better. So at the time the customer makes the booking, they can start and get in contact with the hotelier and just get information back and forth. Perhaps they want a specific type of room, and that, of course, enhances dramatically the experience the customer is going to have at the hotel. Only last month, we had 1.2 million conversations, and this is growing at 20% month over month. What else? We are getting a little bit touching the MICE business, meeting and events. We looked at it. Why did we look at it? $400 billion US global value, the marketing, incentive, conference, and event area. About 2/3, they take place in a hotel. So we are right in the spot. We got access to a hotel, so that's something that we can facilitate very easily. And that's something that's a detail about Germany specifically in the city. Every 4 rooms in a hotel, every 4th room in a hotel is driven by an event or a meeting. So every 4th room that is booked in a hotel in Germany in the cities is related to a meeting, a conference. So it's quite of a sizable type of business. What's the problem there? The process is crazy. So when we looked at it, we thought, okay, that's got nothing to do with us. There is a lot of back and forth, and request, the conversion is extremely low, then come back, and then the agency and the hotel and the customer, and it gets this triangle of thing. It never ends. It's very time consuming. So we decided to get to the next level. We decided to go from offline to online, and we built this technology called Meeting Market. It's instant prices, instant availability, and instant confirmation. It's probably the only one in the market at this moment in time where you can go for booking below 30 people. You can get to the hotel, you can book the hotel room, you can book the conference room, you can book the F&B, and you can book also the equipment for the room. Everything is in there. But the great thing about this is because we are a multi-brand company, the technology allows multi-branding and allows also other people to get in there. So we recently announced this. The Meeting Market is now on Best Western in Germany. So they're using our technology to make sure that the customer that want to book a meeting or a conference, they go in their site, they book the hotel, they book the conference room, they book everything that has to do with the conference. It's super easy to go. I have a quick video. I hope I don't have time, right? Yeah, I go ahead. Just to show the way this works. It's very exciting.
Miss Cooper works as an event planner for a prestigious conference hotel. But at the moment, she feels more like an admin assistant. Every day, she receives dozens of requests from conference organizers. She has to review the requests, phone the people in order to complete the information, and spends a lot of time creating and sending individual quotes and proposals before follow-up with the organizer. Unfortunately, only a fraction of the quotes she sends out are ever accepted, and this keeps happening again and again, day after day. Is there a way to organize this more efficiently? Yes, of course there is. In partnership with Best Western, Expedia is launching the first online booking engine for meetings. Customers simply select the date and duration, number of participants, and number of meeting rooms. Only a few seconds later, event planners can compare available hotels and prices. If required, customers can refine their search by changing seating plans, adding equipment, and select food and beverage options. Hotel rooms can also be added with just a few clicks. On the hotel information page, customers can get a cost breakdown, booking details, pictures, and reviews. The booking can then be made in just a matter of minutes. That's how meetings are booked today.
So that's about meeting and incentive. The last thing, I think I don't have any more time, but the last thing is just want to mention that we also added rail to Expedia. So now we're selling train in the UK, in the future in Italy as well. Thank you very much. Just about on time.
Perfect time.
Thank
you, Walter. Please chat. You like your pillow?
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah. What does it say?
BTO.
BTO. Oh, that's.
And that one's one. So at the, by the way, I'm probably one of the few people that can admit it. I know all of those people in the video. We had Barry Diller, who, by the way, founded Paramount Pictures.
As well.
He spoke at our conference twice. I interviewed him in November 2001. And I asked him this question. They were going to acquire National Leisure Group and Expedia. And then 9/11 happened. And Expedia Inc.'s attorneys canceled the NLG acquisition. It's a legal thing called force majeure because of the terrorist attack. But Diller continued with the Expedia question. And I asked Barry Diller on stage, why did you continue with the Expedia acquisition after 9/11? And he looked at me and he said, because I just decided if it wasn't worth buying travel, life wasn't worth living. And the whole audience stood up and started clapping.
He's a very keen traveler himself.
It's quite amazing. So at the end of the video, you had all those brands. How many brands? Do you know?
It's about probably 70, 80. We a bit lost in the count.
Different brands or different URLs? Different brands?
Different brands.
All under Expedia.
The websites was about 200 now.
So when you call on a hotel or one of your, how many people in your organization report
now
up
it's
to
about, reporting to me directly,
Yes.
it's about 200 people.
200. And their primary focus is in Southern Europe calling on hotels.
Sourcing the hotels, yes, absolutely.
contract.
Sourcing the hotel, doing account management.
And when your people call on these hotels and they get contracted, it could be bookable in all 70 brands and all 200 websites.
Everywhere, yes.
Yeah.
Immediately accessible.
And do they have the option of turning on or off some of the brands or URLs?
Not really. We tend to open to everyone because you want to give the opportunity to the hotel to capture as much business as possible. That's the idea.
So with those brands, there was a lot of acquisitions. Expedia makes a lot of acquisitions. Priceline Group makes a lot of acquisitions, but the strategy is different.
Yeah.
For example, Priceline wouldn't have even considered buying Orbitz or Travelocity. So can you share with the audience the different approach for what Expedia looks for versus Priceline Group?
But I guess that's what I was saying before. So the idea of multi-branding is, of course, opposite to the way the Priceline perhaps works. Our idea is to have technology and platform that can be pluggable by multi-brand, because that gives you lots of flexibility as well in the way you want to work. And sometimes it's also easier in somewhat to capture customer base on an already existing brand. So building up a brand from scratch is a little bit costly. And also, this way you can really focus on specific segments. You know exactly which brands means what to every single country. And if you have a gap there, or if you want to enhance your exposure to that specific area, that's what you do.
So after an acquisition, the technology is all integrated?
Most of the time, yes. If it's aligned, the type of product, yes.
So if it's an e-commerce business, so that means that when you buy a company, you're not really buying their technology, you're buying their brand and their customers?
Depends. Depends on their technology, I guess. I think the platform that we built today is really strong. So tendentially, we would plug in the new brand into our current platform.
Right. So obviously, an Orbitz or Travelocity integration was a lot tighter than when you acquired HomeAway, right? Because it's different.
It's also a different ballgame because the commercial proposal of HomeAway is also mixed with a listing marketing or type of business, which is not really our core business. So the integration of HomeAway within Expedia doesn't really make a lot of sense. I think HomeAway is a very good company. It works very well the way it does. The proposal is slightly different from the way we work. But something that we are going to do, and we are doing actually as we speak, is integrating some of the products. So the product that is immediately bookable, let's say, of HomeAway, we're going to gradually integrate it into the Expedia brands.
So somebody could go to Venere and actually book a villa that originally was sourced by HomeAway.
We are adding all the structure, whatever is bookable, immediately bookable. That's important. So we don't have the technology, and I don't think we're going to get there even on Expedia to have this sort of on-request type of environment.
Right. Does your supply team and supply teams like yours around the world for Expedia, do they source for HomeAway?
No, that's a pure technology plug-in.
Yeah.
So we source our direct contract with the hotels, but on the site, there is a plug-in by which some of the product in HomeAway can get in there.
But a separate team sources the inventory.
It's HomeAway team sourcing the inventory. Correct,
yeah.
Yes.
So that's interesting. And how has the HomeAway business changed since Expedia owned it? Do you get involved in pricing, or is it mostly still separate?
Yeah, I think they're completely separate.
Yeah.
And I suspect that it's going to stay that way. I don't think there is any scope to make that change. The only change which we are trying to get push forward is getting more and more transactional on the HomeAway side. Yeah. Just because people ask for it, in all fairness. That's what the consumer wants. And traditionally, HomeAway has got a lot of listing type of product, and we try to shift this much more into transactional base.
By the way, for the audience, I have plenty of questions, but if you'd like to ask a question, raise your hand and somebody will come with a microphone. On the groups business, it was interesting. At the Focusrite conference, we met with a company called Groups 360. A lot of players are doing this. Is it really a viable business if it's just Best Western properties, or is that just the beginning?
Well, the actual technology, we're going to use it for Expedia. We can use it on Agencia. We can use it on everything. The technology is modular. Right. So Best Western is just the first one, and I don't know if it's going to be another one, but initially we are testing this in Germany. Germany is the strongest MICE environment in Europe, so if it works there, chances are we're going to roll it out elsewhere.
And when you talk to hotels for sourcing, how is the conversation different now if it was going to get plugged into a meetings module?
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's a separate conversation you need to have. There are hotels, they are very strong on the meeting. Since we launched this, I look after Southern Europe. I have so many hotels that came to me and say, can I get into this program now? Because clearly, giving the opportunity to have an instant booking environment within MICE is quite unique. And we discovered that about 70% of all the conference are actually below 30 people. So they're not very difficult to organize and set up.
And what's the ideal target meeting size or type of meeting for that?
That is pretty much around the 20, 30 people.
Okay, small thing.
Of course, you cannot do BTO. That's pretty complex.
Yeah, shifting gears, Giancarlo asked the gentleman from TripAdvisor a question about instant booking and about whether it was a good pivot or a pivot into the ditch. What's, as much as you're comfortable discussing it,
what did he say?
What did he say? He said that it's going a lot slower than they anticipated. That's probably why the stock price is getting hammered, but that everybody is still 100% in favor. So, but what is the Expedia point of view?
But
on
I
instant
think
booking?
we are looking at it. We're not discarding. I think it's interesting. All the potential distribution channels are interesting. So of course, if the economics work, right? If the economics don't work, then it doesn't go anywhere. But in principle, we're looking at it. We work a lot with Trip, as you know, and we're very good partners with them. So chances are that this is going to happen. It's very positive, but again, we need to do all the homework first.
And the interesting, the gal from Una Hotels, you know, you and I, we go to events, we hear this all the time about OTAs are a very expensive channel for hotels. But do you think independent hotels have a good understanding of their cost structure, especially what a direct booking really costs?
It is, I don't know, but it is difficult. When we have the conversation with the hotels, we go through the cost structure. We try to understand, because essentially we know that if we don't add value, it's not going to fly, right? So you can sign the contract, but realistically, if you don't want to work with me, we're not going to produce anything. It's going to be fresh air and lots of papers. So realistically, what we try to understand is what is the value we're really adding to the hotel. And one exercise we've done recently, for instance, is trying to calculate the impact of cancellations. Because there is a lot of noise about the cancellations, but nobody really said, okay, cancellation means what? So on the famous percentage share of compensation, whatever you want to call it, what part of this can be pinpointed as cancellation? And is a better cancellation ratio, and I said it before, on the package path, the cancellation are very, very low. So is that an opportunity, perhaps, to move towards that type of business? So this is the type of conversation that we're trying to have with the hotel. So try to understand in their own environment what would work best for them.
Because I speak to a lot of independent hoteliers. Of course, they have a website, but they are disappointed in the e-commerce performance of the site. So I ask them, well, do you have remember this morning I said, do you have a conversion funnel? Are you analyzing what customers come in? How many of the customers that visit your site actually start searching? How many go to another layer of searching, do pricing? How many get to a payment gateway? What's your take rate? What's your bounce rate? And I usually get a blank stare, and I always say, well, that's what e-commerce companies do really, really well. And if you wanted to really compete and get more direct bookings, unfortunately, you would have to get good at those things. So maybe it's not a good thing to spend your money.
But you see, that's I think the misconception is there. The cost related to attract a customer, even to your own website, is astronomical.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of work behind it. You need to be really geared up, and that's something that perhaps is not always perceived.
Which gets us, we talked about Google and Priceline being the largest Google customer in the world, spends more on Google than any other company in any other category. And I'm sure Expedia is probably in a top 10.
We spend a lot of money there, yes.
But I'd like to ask you that same question. The former CEO of Booking.com actually said last year at ITB that, hey, we would spend more money on Google if it worked. Not many companies vocally wish they could spend more money with Google. Usually it's the other way around. How is that point of view at Expedia?
It's the same principle. So if it's efficient, any channel that is efficient, you keep on investing on it.
So the audience not so familiar with these things, so explain.
So the efficiency.
What is efficiency?
Efficiency based on conversion. You put money on the keywords, right? If it converts well, there is a return of investment. Normally it's calculated at 100. When you get to 100 efficiency, you're not losing money, you're on break even.
So what would be an example of that? You spend money for Tuscany hotels.
Tuscany hotels, or a specific hotel name. What could be hotels in Rome, hotels in Florence. You spend money on that, and you need to monitor, of course, the return of investment. If you spend $1, you want at least $1 back. If you get $1 back, you have 100% efficiency. If you get 80 cents, you're 120% efficiency. That's not good. You're losing money every single time you're bidding on that keyword.
You mentioned hotel brands. What about the ongoing debate with especially Google that some contracts said, okay, if I partner with you, you're not allowed to buy my hotel. brand. So if we owned a hotel called Philip and Walter, you said you can't own that. That has to be me, the hotel. But the counter argument is, yes, it's your brand, but consumers like to shop different places to buy your hotel, so it shouldn't be restricted.
Well, that's one thing, but the other thing is how efficient, and we go back to the same concept, how efficient would you be in the scale of thing bidding on your own keywords? So are you going to be able to bid on your own keywords in Japan or in South Korea? The scale of things suggests that we're probably more efficient from that point of view.
I always like to ask this. I mean, I know you don't work in Seattle or outside.
I don't.
But you know a lot of people that do. But if you could pick one company, I mean, that keeps you awake at night for future potential competition, which company would you pick?
It's difficult because we don't know where the industry is going to be completely honest.
Or what type of company then?
I think we have currently a good portfolio because the home away was the bit missing, to be fair. The vacation rental side wasn't there.
Right.
In terms of technology, we are pretty strong. In terms of supply as well, market share, considering all the brands we have across the world. We divested even in China at some point because the economics weren't really working the way we thought. So,
right, but Dara did say one thing he'd really like to do is increase Expedia's share in Asia, for example.
Yeah, that's something, of course. But we opened, like in China, since we divested, we capture a good amount of money out of the divestment, and we got now the Expedia China site. We got else.com there. So we reinvested the money in partnering with more people in the destination.
A lot of people don't realize Priceline Group owns 15% of C-Trip in China. So it's quite a big footprint.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I would say.
It's a difficult area, China. Yeah. It's not super easy.
Expedia owns almost 70% of Trivago, but like TripAdvisor many years ago, the decision was made for Trivago to go public. So how will, I mean, obviously, if it's a successful IPO, Expedia and Trivago shareholders will do very well. But how will that affect the business relationship between Expedia brands and Trivago when Trivago is a listed company?
Right. Starting from the point that I cannot talk about anything to do with it, it's IPO, of course, so it's still ongoing. I suspect there's not going to be a massive amount of difference. Today we have a partnership with Trivago, but Trivago is a profit center, so it works with us the same way they work with Booking and anyone else, because they have to make money. The company's there to make money, so things are not going to change. And it was exactly the same with TripAdvisor before. We never had this sort of merging by which we were interdependent. We always worked as customer, and provider, and that is going to remain that way.
Yeah, but I mean, Expedia, you could do that without buying 3/4 of the company.
Yeah, but if you buy the company because the company is profitable, because the company is actually a good company to have in your portfolio, not necessarily because you want to merge within your portfolio.
Yeah. So a few weeks after Trivago announced they're going public, there's another announcement. C-Trip in China announced the acquisition of Skyscanner, headquartered in Scotland. And C-Trip has made some investments outside of China, especially in India and Southeast Asia. But that's like 1.8 billion, really big size, and more headlines because it was in Europe. So what's the reaction at Expedia about that?
But no major reaction to that. You were talking about a company now thinking about a company that keeps me awake is probably Alibaba more than C-Trip, to be completely honest. So this is the type of environment where they could potentially come over and swipe things out.
Because they have, for the audience, a pure marketplace.
That's right.
Yeah. So the way Alibaba works in China, if you're a travel company, you live inside the Alibaba platform, but you completely run your own little marketplace. A little more like Amazon. Do you think the Alibaba model for travel will spread all over the world? Because that would be a big change.
It's hard to tell. We know that Amazon tried a couple of years ago and they decided not to get in there. But as you say, the Alibaba concept is completely different.
Will Expedia try?
To get into Alibaba?
No, to launch travel marketplaces where other third-party brands live on the Expedia platform, but they run their own businesses.
It is difficult looking at the platform as it is today, but it's not. It is an option. It is a possibility. I don't see why not. So we believe we are a marketplace already. But of course, as you may
not
argue,
like Alibaba, though.
Right? As you may argue, we source our own product and we put it on display, but it's not. We don't allow anyone else to get into to have access, let's say, to our customer base. And that's something.
And that's usually not what is referred to as a marketplace, right?
Yeah, that's right. But Amazon does this. So I think Alibaba goes to the extreme, and it's complex to create that level of traffic and volume. But if you look at Amazon, what they do as a marketplace is very interesting. They have the same product featured 7 times, with different prices from different providers, and one of them is them.
Yes.
And that works. So that is something that...
That's the question. Could you ever see Expedia experimenting with the Amazon type model?
Yeah, don't quote me, but yes, I could see that. I could see that. I think that is a possibility. We have access, we have data point, we have customer base, so don't see why not.
What other things, Walter, could you see Expedia experimenting with that at the moment it's not doing?
Well, I think it's much more about technology at this moment in time. So voice command, virtual intelligence and all these things, these are probably the areas where we're going to focus in the future.
Voice, artificial intelligence, machine learning.
We have something already on Facebook Messenger. You can talk to Expedia in a way. So
chatbots.
Exactly. We are testing a few things. Is that the future? Probably yes. It's worrying, to be completely honest, thinking about people talking to objects in the street. Sort of freaked me out, but that's the way it is.
You mentioned Facebook. Is Facebook a good and growing customer acquisition channel for Expedia brands?
It's not massive. The variable channels, particularly where I operate, are still the kings.
Yeah.
So the Google and the Trivago of the
I'm on the board of a company called Hopper. It's app only, no web, and air only, and they have 0 Google spend. 100% of the acquisition comes from Facebook, and it's quite
not bad, eh?
Quite effective. Yeah.
And that's probably going to be a shift there.
To me, I mean, I don't know if Google would answer, but I'm fairly certain if you ask that question, Google, what company keeps you up at night the most now, the Google answer would be Facebook.
Yeah, I would say so.
Sure.
Particularly on the virtual intelligence, because they're developing extremely well. And that is going to create, because Google are very, very strong on everything to do with text. Once you get out of the text environment, then it's a different ballgame.
So I've wondered, people ask me, and I definitely believe with artificial intelligence and machine learning on top of these massive databases, speech recognition, this whole collection, virtual reality, that companies with a culture to invest in technology, just not the money, and sitting on a lot of big data, are standing at a huge future opportunity. But my question is this: when I got into online travel in the late 80s and the early 90s, maybe some of you remember, all of the traditional travel companies said, no, we're not going to invest in the web. And this bizarre thing happened. All these new companies it began in the web. So 2 different worlds, right? There was no Expedia before the web. There was no Travelocity, Orbitz, Venere, eDreams, Ctrip. So for some reason, the entire marketplace let new players enter. So my question is, with this artificial intelligence phase really starting to kick in, do you see the established players online able to keep up, able to make those investments, able to make the cultural changes? Or is there a reality that we'll see some big new entrants into travel, like we saw in the 80s and 90s?
I think we're going to see new entrances, that's for sure.
Will they get big?
Yeah, the environment is different because we're still talking about development of technology, after all. And thankfully, today, all the OTAs are technology companies. So it's about developing what you already got in place rather than changing completely the game. And I think back then was about changing the game. But having said that, are we going to see more companies that are more fine-tuned to the new technology? Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
That's for sure, yes.
I think most of the industry is underestimating how much of a change artificial intelligence will do.
It's gone, but everyone is working. We are working on it,
Yeah.
and Priceline is working on it. So we are there.
Yeah. So we'll have to have this conversation again at BTO next year.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Walter LaFaro, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.